So here we start with one of the questions on justice. So let's just directly go to the question first. Instead of searching for the perfect theory of justice, public servants should focus their energy on removing particular cases of injustices prevalent in the society. Examine. See the background of this question. If you go through previous year's papers, in 2016, UPSC has asked a similar kind of question. UPSC's question is in 2016, question number 3A, analyze John Rawls' concept of social justice in the Indian context. So, as we proceed to the discussion of this question, you will see that these two questions are similar, just the nature of the question is changed. So, we'll be studying a bit of justice through this question, the discussion of this question, right? So, dealing with this question, first of all, what is justice? What do you mean by justice? Justice, or in Hindi as we call it, nyay. What is nyay? What is justice? Now, let's understand it in a colloquial term. न्याय क्या है? सभी को एक समाज में, एक सोसाइटी में उसका हक मिले. Giving everyone his due, his or her due, is justice towards him, right? Even the legal justice, the substantive, procedural, various kinds of theories of justice try to achieve giving everyone his or her due. Now, justice comes from the root word just, which means synthesis of various conflicting claims. Synthesizing the claims. Claims as in there could be claim of an individual or a society. There could be claim of an individual and a state, right? For example, supposedly there is an issue in which you have to take the interest of one individual as well as whole of the society, right? So how do you synthesize the claims of individual and society is done through this concept of justice, right? So every individual, supposedly, for example, individual has to have rights, right? While society, certain duty is involved with the individual for the upliftment of society. So justice synthesizes this, makes a coherence in this claim of rights and duties, right? Rights of duties and rights of individual and duty towards society, right? Similarly, the ideals of liberty and equality, if you see very closely, then liberty of freedom means if complete liberty is given, if everyone is given the freedom to to enhance his capability to go to whatever extent he or she can, then it leads to the suppression of equality. That's why there's a popular saying that your hand should not be exceeded such that it reaches my nose, right? That means one should not be completely free so that it hinders the rights of others, right? That's why reasonable restriction is given in the constitution. On the other hand, if everyone is equal, be it the poor, the rich, the meritorious, or the one who does not have any merit, If everyone is being equal, then some way or the other liberty is curtailed. You understand? If supposedly मेरे पास मेरा मेरा डोमेन है बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ पाने का, but then I am my achievements, my aspirations are fixed कि तुम्हें इतना ही मिलेगा. In that particular case, although equality is prevailing, but then liberty is curtailed. So this conflicting claim of liberty and equality is synthesized through the concept of justice, right? And justice does not merely mean legal justice. Broadly, justice encompasses social, political, and economic justice, right? Now, understanding about what is justice, we come to what John Rawls has said about justice. See, justice has evolved over a period of time from Plato, Aristotle, and in more contemporary times, Rawls and Sen's concept of justice is very pertinent to know to answer this particular question. Although they have not asked you in this particular question, leave apart this UPSC question. What the question was? The question was, instead of searching for the perfect theory of justice, public servants should focus their energy on removing particular cases of injustices prevalent in the society. This particular question, nowhere Rawls and Sen is asked, but when you go through the theory of these two individuals, these two philosophers, then you get to know how Rawls and Sen come into picture, right? So John Rawls says, for him, his famous book is Theory of Justice. See, the idea of John Rawls, he lays quite a bit of emphasis on creating an institution of justice. He lays emphasis on creating a society, creating a just society, right? He has emphasized on social theory of justice, social justice, right? So his main concern is distribution of primary social good. Primary social good, as in, that could be anything, like the social good could be uh, air to breathe, water to drink, right? uh, Food to eat. So how can these particular resources could be distributed in a society so that everyone gets his due, right? That is the concern of Rawls. So Rawls defined justice as fairness. For him, justice is being fair, and fairness he has explained it through the justice which is liberal, distributive, and procedural. For him, if the procedure is taken care of, outcome will be just. He has laid emphasis on the distributive theory, how a primary social good is distributed in the society, and liberal because he relies on the capitalistic model. He relies on merit based distribution, right? So he basically emphasizes on finding out a fair procedure for distribution of primary social good. In this, he has used various terms like original position, veil of ignorance, maximum principle, difference principle, chain principle. What are these? Okay, let me tell you in short. See, according to John Rawls, his motive is to make a just society. For him, he says that supposedly there are few people, few contractarians, as he says, who are responsible for making a just society, right? So what they will do, they do not have a knowledge of uh, the ills or whatever whatever actual position of the people in the society, who is high, who is low, they do not know it, right? For them, this is called original position. They are at the very initial stage, they are ignorant of the basic facets of society, and they are under the veil of ignorance. They have such ignorance. Why? Because when they have this ignorance, then and only then they'll not be partial towards anyone. They'll be able to decide in what way they should distribute these primary social good. And for this, they use this maximum principle. Maximum principle means to distribute these goods in a way so as to maximize benefits for the maximum number. Difference principle says when you are distributing these goods, then you need to take care of the marginalized and downtrodden. You have to give a special emphasis on these discriminated people. And chain principle says that the weakest link in the chain, if that is strengthened, then the whole chain does not break, right? So if the poor people are taken care of, then this chain does not break. So all in all, John Rawls philosophy is to make a just society in which this distribution of goods is done in such a way, the procedure, he lays emphasis on procedure. So the people, the contractarians who are given this responsibility of distribution of these goods, they do it in such a way that they are not partial towards anyone. They are maximizing the benefit of the maximum number, maximum people. They are taking care of the marginalized, and besides that, they are also, after taking care of marginalized, they are also trying to strengthen the chain. They are trying to uh, give a merit based distribution as well, right? So John Rawls has a philosophy of creating that institution. On the contrary, Amartya Sen says, Amartya Sen, in his idea of justice, he lays emphasis on capability theory of justice. Capability theory means, according to Rawls, the control of resources is important. Whom, who are the people to whom these social goods could be given, right? To whom these resources are given. But Amartya Sen emphasizes, on the contrary, on the capability. Even if you give the resources, if that person is not capable enough to enjoy the fruits of those resources, then it does not have any meaning. Like for example, a handicapped person, if supposedly government distributes bicycle to these physically handicapped people, it's of no use to them, right? You are making many programs like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, and the other programs for social upliftment for women. But if the women are subjugated, if patriarchy prevails in the society, if they feel fear while going out in the late evenings, then their capability is reduced. They are not able to enjoy, right? They are not given their due, right? So Sen emphasizes on the capability theory. Here he says, instead of searching for perfect theory of justice, what Rawls did, Rawls is searching for a perfect theory of justice. One should focus on removing the particular cases of injustices in society, like for example child labor, like for example subjugation of women, caste discrimination. All these kinds of things, these kinds of injustices prevalent in society, if these particular injustices are removed, then everyone gets his due, right? So rather than making a perfect theory, perfect ideal theory of ideal society, ideal theory of justice, one should remove these injustices. Here he gives his two concept of niti and nyaya. According to Sen, Niti is about the rules and institution, the ideal. This goes in accordance with Rawls. So this is about creating institutions, and Nyaya is the application part, is the realization of justice. If Niti is there and Nyaya is not there, then justice does not prevail, right? So realization of justice according to Sen is very important, right? So the conclusion is, in this particular question, according to Sen, the government or the public administrator should go beyond the formulation, just formulation of schemes. Formulation of schemes comes under this theory of creating a just society. It must create an environment in favor of these deprived people, so they can be capable enough to use these schemes and access them effectively, right? So while formulating any kind of scheme, while formulating any kind of policy, a public administrator should keep in mind not only the formulation but the implementation part of it, and how these people for whom these schemes are made, how they are going to get benefit out of it. So particular injustices removal is more important, right? And in the conclusion, you can say that best practice for this social distribution could be, you first of all give the basic needs, meet the basic needs for everyone irrespective of merit, and then go for merit based distribution. In this way, I guess you can handle this particular question.